Peace. Man, happy now. Now's the vibrate, of course. We're not going too far in the future. We're not going too far in the past. Right now. Peace, peace, y'all. Only reason I don't even know why I always do this, but this is me being me, and I'm just being my authentic self, and I just over talk sometimes. And I was gonna explain like this could have been a think fast, but I decided. So I'm like, well, I always do that, but I live and I learn. But I want to share basically like a download I just had of why I use a certain mudra for my meditations, and more so this certain mudra was something I developed when I first started meditating. And after a while I stopped using it, but I realized that like when I was using it, I was generating more in my mind I'm gonna just say energy, but realizing till now that it generate more chi, to be more specific. But it's a certain hand mudra that I was using. And matter of fact, it just dawned upon me as I was doing some other work, and it was like, yeah, you use that mudra so it could hit the three main chi areas, in which I'm gonna speak on that. They got like a certain what they call, matter of fact, I'm gonna speak on it from a Taoist perspective, but also showing how it links with other things as well. But this mudra, matter of fact, is like this. I gotta get sideways so y'all can kind of see it. It's basic. So picture like, all right, you know how you got this mudra like this. Matter of fact, everybody know how to the rosters hold their hand. Matter of fact, with the upside down triangle. Matter of fact, another representation of being protectors of the divine feminine energy, because the feminine tetrahedron on your star tetrahedron, aka your star David or Merkaba, you know, the one going down is for the feminine energy. And what does this look like? I gotta stand up and it looks like the yoni almost, the triangle going down, how the thighs push up, divine feminine. But anyway, and I guess if you see somebody, I guess if it's thrown up like this, then it's a personification of the masculine energy in essence. But all right, back to the thing. So it's like holding your hands like that, but then instead of having your pinky tucked in, you poke your two pinkies out and have them touch. It'll almost feel like it'll feel like it belongs, like, and you'll get what I mean. Like when it locks in so perfectly. It's almost like sitting in a lotus position in essence. Like it just locks in perfectly, and you don't have to really try to keep it, balanced. But I will sit down in the lotus position, and have it, position. I don't want to say I gotta stand up. I would have it like positioned like in my stomach area, but now knowing better, I would position it like in the heart area. So like right here with the pinky pointing down, the thumb is pointing up, and the two, what it is, I think index fingers or the pointing fingers are pointing outward, basically. And what you should do as you're breathing, we're always breathing in the nose, bringing the chi, the prana, or just the air in general, bringing it to the stomach area, So basically like almost like underneath the lungs in essence. I always speak to this, but I always give example. Ain't nothing wrong with me. What you're breathing in, and it's stomach going out, Breathing out. Stomach going in. Not the chest moving. Stomach. You know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, like as far as a conscious breath, just during your day, you know, it should be like the deep as deep as you could go inward and as deep as you could go outward, like fully, you know what I'm saying? Take those breaths so that energy could really streamline through all your meridians and nadis. You know, you'll start to feel it more the more you start doing your conscious breathing. You'll feel the electricity or the chi moving through your body. Now, let's see. I'm gonna be so all right, back to the meditation. So you will use this if you're trying to strengthen the chi within the body and bring it to the basically the main Tian, so to speak, through the towers. You got the upper Tian, the middle Tian, and the lower Tian. The upper is through, you know, through this area right here, like in between the eyebrows, that third eye, first eye area. The middle Tian is in the heart, like in the middle, in the chest. Gotta stand up. And then the lower Tian is kind of like underneath the navel. As a matter of fact, you'll see a correlation of the word, you know, Tian, Tien, is closely related to Dantian, or Dantian, however you say it, with the Dantian chakra, which is not really a chakra in essence, but is more so the area is like right under the sacral chakra, and is the area that stores the chi energy, you know. And you start to see how this information correlates itself across the board. But again, so the Tian, and matter of fact, it say Tan Tian. So in essence, it's like, you know, take away the T and it's Dan Tian. So or Dan Tien, you know, however you want to say it. But again, it's energy storage areas, you know, and in this one you come across like the difference. So like when you come across the normal books, like a crystal book, or, you know, just any just top surface chakra book, you know, it's not going to get deeper in to these extra energy zones and meridians, you know, as much as like the Taoists and like the Tai Chi vibe. As a matter of fact, I always then I showed y'all this book for the awakening, the awakened light, the awakened healing light, and it's by Montauk and Manawan Chia, Healing Tao books. You know. But again, back to, you know, so this is to bring the chi energy into these three areas. And the reason why I'm placing it at the heart, you know, because I in essence, you know, intuitively from the download, it just tells me the energy would just spread better, like, you know, coming in through the heart area, you know, and going up to the upper Tian, and then the pinky pointed down to the lower Tian, while this the one pointing outer, the middle Tian, is coming straight to the heart, which is where the middle Tian is. So it kind of correlates symmetrically, so to speak, you know, as far as like holding your hands in that area. So again, hold your hands in this heart area, and you're breathing in, and you envision the light coming through, you know, this middle point right here. You know, just chi energy. You could, you know, depends on how good your visualizations is. You could see it coming from all the plant life that's within the close proximity of your area. If you're not close to a lot of plant life, then think of plant life in the nearest proximity. But, just chi energy from just different forms of life forces, and it's not no like you're stealing energy or anything of that nature. You know what I'm saying? It's like a replenishing, because in essence, what you taking in, you kind of giving back out. It's just a matter of fact, bringing in positive chi, letting out negative chi to feed the earth, and then the earth feeds, you know, chi back to whatever you kind of brought chi in from, in essence. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a cycle. Because I know people probably feel like, oh, you taking chi from other things. Like, matter of fact, think about Dragon Ball Z. If y'all familiar with Dragon Ball Z and the Spirit Bomb, that's basically what he was doing. But again, right in the heart area. And you breathing in, and again, envision the chi coming through this area and going up, spreading to the upper Tien, in one breath. You envision, again, take the next breath. Envision the chi energy coming in and going to the middle Tien. So coming through this area, going into the middle Tien, which is the heart area. Exhaling, then inhaling again. Envision it coming in through this area, and then going down the pinky to the lower Tan Tien, around the navel area. And then you're exhaling, and you just continuously repeating this exercise. It's very simple, it ain't no bunch of hard steps to it, but this just works as a stronger antenna, in essence, in a way. Well, no, this one is a real. I'm about to say, even down to even if it was a placebo effect, because I thought about that. I'm like, like, hey, high self, it's just a placebo effect. It's like, nah, it does allow for the energy to generate, because with your intentions too, it kind of adds to it, with your hands being in this certain mudra, and with your hands being locked in like this is a flow throughout the body too. It allows for a balanced exchange of energy, in essence. But bringing it into the upper Tien, into the middle Tien, and down to the lower Tien. And I thought about something too, because it speaks on how you have the Tan Tien, the upper, middle, and lower. The energy of each one is like you got one called Qing, one called Qi, and the other one called Shin. So let's see. So say, for instance, the upper Tien connects to the brain, the glands, and the universal and cosmic energies through the force of the Shin, or spirit. This includes the third eye or first eye, the crown, and the entire head. The middle Tan Tien connects to the heart and all the organs through the natural force of our soul, known as Qi. And then the lower Tan Tien connects the physical body, the sexual energy, and Mother Earth through the force known as Qing. And matter of fact, this is sometimes spelled as Jing, J-I-N-G. And it is centered between the navel and the kidneys. Now, something about like where they talk about the force of Shin in the upper Tien. When you think about Shin, I thought about right quick the Hebrew letter Shin. When we talking about Chi, in essence, Chi is like electricity or fire. And then the Hebrew letter Shin actually looks like a little fire, looks like a little flame. How you draw the little flames rising up, So the Shin Hebrew letter, actually looks like fire. So you see how some of these things actually correlate indirectly, you know, like just adding to the sauce, you know, where you could see like, all right, like again, like what it's called a Tiens, and then you also got the Tiens, which is the, you know, storage place for the chi energy. But you know, you realize, oh, you got more than one Tiens, you know, got upper, middle, and lower, you know, and the whole thing to this is like, you know, giving you energy. Like, you know, the reason why we feel the need to drink coffee other than addiction, you know, because with me, I recognize that is part of being in this physical realm is a little vice and addiction, and not so much as I keep it from being unbeneficial on a level, like, cause say for instance, it is acidic, but I'll drink it in a time where I'm being so alkaline. In essence, it may be balancing me out. And I say maybe, like I always catch the vibe that, you know, when I do drink it, it's kind of just balancing out energies. You know, what I was gonna say. Drinking coffee. You see, going off into talking about the TN. Oh, bringing energy into the body, and that's why I was talking about drinking coffee. Anyway, you know, bringing in the chi energy into the body, and also like, so say for instance now, instead of just bringing it in to that navel area, we also storing in the heart, which has a certain connection to our cosmic body, and to the first eye crown chakra area, which, you know, has a certain connection to our higher cosmic body. You know, so we're bringing chi into all these places, you know what I'm saying, is allowing for you to operate in a more healthier manner, you know, because it's opening up pathways, you know, it's clearing out blockages, you know, it's again giving energy. It's basically like you being like like how Nikola Tesla showed how we could get electricity, well, yeah, in essence, electricity or energy into a certain thing without wires, you know, where you don't need wires to collect or connect to electricity. You know, same thing for ourselves, you know, like the doctor don't have to put those little two pads on you and say clear, you know what I'm saying, for you to get electricity. You could get some real natural electricity, or, you know, chi, you know, our life force, you know, through your breathing, but also through you know, through more advanced visualization techniques. You know, the because in essence, chi energy, or prana, you know, it goes where the attention and focus goes. You know what I'm saying? So if you visualizing it, you know, then the chi energy is moving where you visualizing. You know, so that's the, you know, because and the reason why I'm doing this again, always making sure to remember to always, you know, acknowledge, all right, what does this knowledge do for you? You know what I'm saying? Because of course, you know, some people new watching videos, so, you know, just making sure I try to baby step it as much as possible. 'Cause that's the whole thing, is taking wisdom and making it digestible, you know. And see me going on those rants. Uh, Also, though, what I was about to get into, you know, oh yeah, sorry y'all, because matter of fact, that me drinking the coffee kind of picks me up, so I'm kind of in essence moving a little too fast. But what I was just speaking to, you know, why, like, you know, the exercise, and again, this is just a download, you know, a new something, in essence, quote unquote new, because that's another thing when we talk about regurgitated information and stuff like this, and like how, say for instance, you know, I'm letting y'all know that I just downloaded this technique, this mudra, and how to use it and what it does. But at the same time, this could have been created either by myself in a past lifetime, or you know, some other part of consciousness, you know what I'm saying, develop this, and I'm just re-grabbing onto it in this lifetime, you know what I'm saying. So as much as we, you know, and I get what you know, like when we talk about regurgitation of information, it's like, well, you just delivering it exactly, like straight regurgitation, like, you know. Matter of fact, like I heard somebody say, and I'm not gonna get into it because it was some other stuff, which again, me being nosy on some other stuff, but like where you listen to information, record it in your mind, and then like almost like pressing play and replaying what you recorded in that same manner. You know what I'm saying? Without your own, you know, essence in it. You know what I'm saying? That's more of a regurgitation. But anyway, I digress. But also, before I go, now speaking of the shin, you know, so that exact Hebrew letter, you know, so now we done with the done talking about the actual mudra for, you know, bringing the chi into the main tiens. So kind of drifting off in correlation, you know, again, you got the shin Hebrew letter, which is also a representation of fire, but then also the Hebrew letters themselves, you know, in essence mimics flames, you know what I'm saying, from a fire. And also like Hebrew letters, if you could visualize certain Hebrew letters, like it creates a certain energy. And in essence, that's why like you got the 72 names of God with the different combination of Hebrew letters, you know, and it activates a certain energy by you focusing on those letters. You know, it creates a certain energy. You know, that's why they got like certain deities and different quote unquote gods or elementals. You know, is to be able to access certain particular aspects of God instead of like, oh, the universe. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you probably want to deal with a certain aspect. So that's where that comes from in essence. But the again, the Hebrew letters, you know, when you envision them, it allows too for a certain subconscious programming in essence. Because again, our subconscious it deals with symbols, you know, and sigils. And in essence, you know, what an alphabet is, or a letter, but a symbol, or a sigil, or a logos, or like a logo, you know, like how we got a logo, which a logo is a symbol for a team in essence. So the logos, see, so as a symbol, you could, again, look at a Hebrew letter and extract a certain energy from that in essence, or in essence, should I say, interface with a certain energy, you know, but it's on a subconscious level with you just looking at it, you know. There's no extra command or nothing, like staring at, say for instance, the Hebrew alphabet shin is going to connect you to a certain energy, and it's dealing with, you know, the subconscious again. And there's no coincidence though that, you know, the Hebrew letters mimic a flame, and then the actual flame, or like a flame from a candle, you know, when staring at a flame from a candle, just like staring at a Hebrew letter, when staring at a flame from a candle, the flame from a candle actually puts your brain waves in an alpha state. And when your brain waves is on the alpha state, your subconscious is easier to program. Beware of videos that start off with a flame. Matter of fact, if any video start off with a flame, just a heads up that, you know, they on some deeper knowledge stuff, whether they doing it purposely or indirectly, you know. But you know that programs the subconscious. And then just on a last note and ending note, what I thought about also too, when we talk about the microcosmic breathing, you know, all this is about not in essence squandering our chi energy. Squandering, for lack of a better word, I might have made that word up. I think squandering means just letting it go all loosey goosey or just wasting it or whatever. But anyway, it's about keeping that microcosmic energy within us. And matter of fact, that's why as males, it's important on when we dealing with having sex, to ejaculate, instead of ejaculate and have an orgasm without ejaculation, and which you got the certain breathing techniques where you could kind of like hold the energy in while having an orgasm. Matter of fact, only technique I know of is one, where you put your fingers like in between, I forgot the name, not the perineum, but like in between, I think that's the name of it, but in between the anus and the testicles, but like you got like it's kind of like the pathway, that in essence that the semen would travel through, and by holding it, it kind of holds it back, and if done properly, it's not gonna cause any blue balls and things like this. But I will go do further research. I'm just speaking on it simply. I'm not telling you, oh, yep, this is just simply it. Do more research on that. Because which I don't know how to, I wouldn't be able to teach it in this moment, but I realized for myself, like I would develop certain, like, so taking a certain yogic breath right before I felt like a ejaculation feeling coming on, it would kind of like suck it back in and replenish me, like in essence, during the sex process. So in essence, that is something. But then again, I can't remember if I still got my orgasm in that moment, well, in essence, no, it wasn't. It wasn't no full. Like the feeling was coming, and then I did the little breathing, and kind of stop myself from ejaculating in that sense. But what I'm getting to too is so that you got the Christ seed energy. You know what I'm saying? Because the spinal fluid also has some of the same thing that your semen, the same basis as your semen, and your Christ seed, or that solar phallic energy. Think about Papa Leg, but a solar phallic light. You think about the Christ energy, and you think about as above, so below. Our body is, mimics the universe. So you got the zodiac signs within your body, and the story of the Christ energy, rising from the root chakra, but also not only just, again, with the Christ energy within your body, but also outside of you, because they're talking about the sun. The Christ energy is also the story of the actual sun, because when the sun gets to, say, for instance, around the end of Sagittarius, you know what I'm saying, December 21st is when the shortest days start to come in. So it means there's less sunlight, or it means that the sun is dying, you know what I'm saying? And a signification of the sun dying is right, in essence, like, or about to get in that area, is when the sun is in Scorpio, because it's about to get into Sagittarius and then go into, into the realm of Satan or Saturn or Capricorn, where it's cold. The winter time is cold during the winter. But anyway, so you see that displayed outside our body, but also again inside the body. So to the story of Christ, and when Judas, Judas kissed him on the cheek. Judas is also a representation of the Scorpio constellation, you know what I'm saying? Because when the sun is in Scorpio, or aka Judas, is like, it's like that death kiss, like, sorry, but I'm about to go into Sagittarius and into Capricorn, into that cold, the cold hell of Satan, you know what I'm saying, or Saturn or Capricorn, that winter time. So again, this is a story of how the sun travels through the elliptical. It's also the story of how the Christ energy moves through your body. Because also how the Scorpio constellation represents Judas. guess what? In your body, the Scorpio constellation is represented in your genital area. Matter of fact, and a lot of people always clown, about the Scorpio energies, like, matter of fact, the underworld, the Pluto energy, and dealing with sex, like the underworld, and dealing with more of a sexual energy, because Scorpio body part, or the Scorpio area of the body is, the genital area. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, you can also see Judas as, in essence, sex that just like where you ejaculating or over or having sex too much, where you again uh weakening your Christ seed, all, you know what I'm saying? So that Christ seed energy within you is becoming weak because you over sexual, or you dealing with that Scorpio energy or that Judas energy. And matter of fact, and in this area, it got like a double entendre, because Judas giving you a kiss on the cheek could also be sexual. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's starting some shit. You know what I'm saying? And now, in this essence, for whatever your imagination is, you could look at Judas as a woman or a man. For hell, 'cause I just thought about the context of how some of us think. But again, the kiss on the cheek from Judas, warming you up, that sexual energy that, if you don't be careful, just having sex, ejaculating, and in essence, wasting your Christ seed all, you know. So you see how the Scorpio constellation, in essence, within the body or the universe within man and or woman, and outside of man or woman, on the macrocosm level down to the microcosm level, you know what I'm saying? Even down to, where even though Constantine tried to turn the Christ energy into an actual historical figure, the essence of this story could be, like, that's one thing, I keep it real, you know what I'm saying? Like, that actual story come from Constantine trying to make up some shit, but who's to say that somebody didn't walk the earth in this type of manner, in this type of way, where, when they reached the age 33, it was a certain revelation or something like that. Because matter of fact, and then you think about my other video I did about the importance of Saturn in your chart, and like where after you're born, the first 30 years, you know what I'm saying, of your life, Saturn makes a full cycle, So basically, wherever Saturn was when you was born, it then made a full 360 cycle in 30 years. Which means it structured all the different houses within your chart, in essence. But that's basically it. I digress. Just want to share that with y'all. And also too, though, I looked at another just as above so below aspect. My thing won't show it too good, but it's like where you got the chi or the Wu Chi, in essence, another Taoist explanation. But the Wu Chi, or that one Chi energy. Then you have like the Yin and the Yang, which is the Yin is the egg, the Yang is the sperm. Then next you have the fertilization to implantation in the uterus, which kind of I gotta show it, man. Well, that's besides the point, the image. And then the next point is the next stage is the triple warmer stage, and then the next stage is when your 5 organ system comes together, and then the next stage is when you get your 12 meridians and 365 acupuncture points. And I thought about how, like, you start from the 1 stage, and then you get into the 2 with the yin and the yang, And then you get to the triple warmer stage, and I thought about, and after the triple warmer stage, you go into the 5 organ stage, and I thought about how that also moves in essence like the golden mean ratio or the golden mean spiral, where you start with 1, then 1 plus 1 equals 2, you know, which that's the yin and yang. Then you got 2 plus the 1 equals 3, and which you get to the triple warmer part, and then the 3 plus the previous 2 makes 5, and after the triple warm is the 5 organ system, and then you get to the place of the 12 meridians and the 365 acupuncture points. Now, which after 5 in the golden mean ratio, after 5 would be 8, because it would be again the addition of the previous 2 numbers, which is 5 and 3. And but even though you don't have 8 straight up with the, say for instance, with the 12 meridians, which is 12 meridians in your body that develop again, showing too like how so from when the yin and yang, the sperm and the egg come together, to the fertilization, to implantation of the uterus, to the triple warmer stage, to the 5 organ system, like in essence showing how we move exactly like the universe, even in the in the womb. Because also that's another thing, like as an embryo, our cerebral system is like the first system to develop, which also corresponds with Aries. The area of Aries deals with your head or your cerebral area. So it's also a representation. So when we talk about, the first zodiac sign is also, in essence, on the physical level, what's made in your body first, in essence, or it's like your cerebral area is the first place developed, and Aries is the first zodiac sign, you know what I'm saying? And also, the beginning, spring, springtime, when everything is born, you know what I'm saying? And as your born process, your cerebral or your Aries area was the first to develop, So it's all these correlations within that. And again, how you got the 12 meridians that develop in your body as a embryo at a certain time correlate with the 12 zodiac signs, 12 tribes of Israel. That's all the same thing. Then the 365 acupuncture, 365 days. And matter of fact, you also got 12 months in a year, which a year is 365 days. But that's a Gregorian year. The Gregorian calendar is made to follow when Sirius, Earth, and the sun is in alignment. That's not the true calendar. But that's what it's represented by 365 days. But in essence, too, the full elliptical is 360 degrees. You know what I'm saying? So right close to 365. But I digress. Just sharing a little insight. I mainly wanted to make sure I shared the meditation Mudra technique, how to bring the chi energy into the body. Also recommend this book if you want to, because even though it's kind of in essence an advanced book, it definitely walks you through each part in essence. Matter of fact, not being in the now is the only way you'll look at this book and be like, oh man, it just looked like too much, because you're looking at how big it is and stuff like that. But it's a very, easy book to deal with, walk your way through it, a bunch of illustrations, get down into it. But Awaken Healing Light by Mantak Chia and Manawat Chia. That's basically it. Sustaining the chi in the body, the life force. Keep that fire burning. That shin. You know, but peace. Happy now. Now is the vibrative course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Peace.